Hello, Dornbirn. Again, my name is Richard. I'm a graphic designer and creative director from Amsterdam, the Netherlands. And in the coming 15 minutes, I'm going to explain you why I am such a privileged man. Ten years ago, I got a call from Greece. And it was a Greek design student. Matias was his name. And he wanted to work in our studio in Amsterdam as an intern. And I told him, well, that's a possibility. Then first you have to send us an email with some work, or you can come to Amsterdam and show me your portfolio. And so he did. He came to Amsterdam, and a few weeks later we were sitting at my table watching his portfolio. And to be very honest, it was not so strong. And so I asked him, Matias, what do you want to do here? What's the reason for you to come here? And he said, well, Richard, I want to make gorillas. So maybe that's something I have to explain you now before I finish my talk about Matias. Because Gorilla is a fantastic initiative that we started 12 years ago with my design studio. In fact, it's a visual column that we make for Dutch newspaper, the Volkskrant, and for weekly magazine, De Groene Amsterdammer. And we as graphic designers use our toolbox, our graphic design toolbox, to react on the news of the day, so what happens in the world. And that can have all kinds of ways, of visuals that we make out of that. So for example, if you wanted to react on what's happening in the United States, we can do something like this, or something like this during the elections. Or when we talk about the European Union, we can visualize it like this, or we can react on the European Union like this. So there are all kinds of ways for us as graphic designers to react on the news of the day. The Brexit. Or for example, refugees. All kinds of difficult, complex issues that we visualize and we give a sort of a new perspective on the news. And as you can see, we also use, as we always say, icons. And so logos, brands, all kinds of visual language that people know, that people understand. And we also do that with people. I mean, there are many iconographic people in the world. So how do we use that as gorilla? For example, this is our queen. Nowadays we have a king, but a few years ago we still had our queen, Beatrix. And she was going to visit the Sultan of Oman. And in the Netherlands, of course, our right-wing politicians thought that this was wrong. So it stirred up a huge discussion. Okay, what is she going to do? She has to visit the mosque, etc., etc. Well, of course, our queen knew how to manage that, knew how to fix that. But we, as Gorilla, also asked ourselves, okay, what will happen when she's going to Afghanistan? Because then she has to wear a burqa. So we did a proposal for our queen, and we called it the Royal Burqa. Another very well-known icon is this guy. We all know him. He's from Russia, strong man, strong icon, strong personality. But also, there's another very well-known symbol of Russia, and that's this one. So we thought, how can we combine these two and come up with a new proposal for an icon for Russia? And this is what we proposed. In Russia, they are still working on it. And we even made one especially for you, for Austria. So back to Matias. We're back in Amsterdam. I was sitting at my table with him and his portfolio. It was not strong enough. He wanted to make gorillas. So I told him, Matias, you have to work on your portfolio. I was very straightforward with him. It's not good enough. You have to work on your portfolio and maybe come back in 6 months. And then I will take a second look at your work. So he left and I thought, okay, that's it. That was Matias. But then, 6 months later, he came back. He was standing in front of my door again. And I thought that was strong. So I let him in, I checked out his portfolio again. Still, there was some work to do, but he did a lot of work. He moved forward, and I really appreciated his perseverance in that. So I said, let's do it, and let's start working together. So when we were at a certain moment sitting at our lunch table, he asked me, Richard, do you know this Reporters Without Borders index? So I said, the what? Yeah, the Reporters Without Borders index. Well, as you understand, I was not aware about what he was talking about. And he said, well, this is an index where countries are ranked according to their freedom of speech, the freedom of press. Okay. And do you have any idea, Richard, where the Netherlands is ranked on this list? No, I didn't know, of course. And but I was thinking, well, the Netherlands is an open country. We are a very well-developed country. Freedom of speech, freedom of press must be high. 6, 7, 8, 9, maybe 10th place. And he said, no, Richard, the Netherlands is ranked on the 2nd place. You can see it here. This is that index. And you can see that the light countries are ranked high. So there's a lot of freedom of press. And the dark countries are in that sense the bad countries. And you can also see that the Netherlands there is on the 2nd place. And as Matias told me, throughout the years it is flipping coins with countries like Finland and Norway. And by the way, here you can also see that Austria is on number 12. So for you to know. And I must say that I felt proud. I thought, yeah, sure, we belong here. The Netherlands is one of the best countries to live in. So 1, 2, 3, yeah, that is our place. That's where we belong. And then he asked me the question, Richard, do you have any idea where my country, Greece, is ranked on this list? I thought, well, of course I didn't know, but I thought, well, maybe Greece is a European country. It is a democracy. It's part of the European Union. So it must be okay. So I thought 27 countries in the European Union, maybe not the highest rank, so maybe 25, 26, maybe 27, something like that. And Matias said, no, Richard, no. Greece is ranked on number 99. And that shocked me, because suddenly I saw where Matias came from. He was born in a small village in rural Greece. He made a bold move to go to art school in Athens. And then again he made a bold move to call some arrogant designers in Amsterdam and ask them to work with them. And in first instance they rejected him. And in second instance he came back and he was able to get there inside. So what did Matias teach me? Well, first of all, he taught me that I'm a privileged man. I live in a country where I can say and do whatever I want. Also, as a graphic designer, I live in a fantastic country because I can make whatever I want, I can ventilate my opinion, I can do whatever I think is relevant and important. Matias also taught me that I'm not the only one. There are many, many designers around the world, much less privileged than I am, who are engaged and want to change the situation they live in with the power of design and creativity. He taught me that this engagement is about optimism and not about negativism. That this engagement is about inclusivity instead of exclusivity. That this is about hope instead of fear. About what we can do instead of what we cannot do. And for that reason, being a designer myself, I started What Design Can Do. With What Design Can Do, I want to enable people and empower creative communities around the globe to use the positive impact of design. To make this happen, together with my team, we crafted a so-called social impact design program. And with this program, we organize events and workshop programs around the globe that goes from Mexico City and Amsterdam to Sao Paulo, Nairobi, Delhi, you name it. We do that to inspire and engage those creative communities. We also, being a designer myself, I always love to communicate. So we also communicate a lot with these creative communities. So for example, when we started a big international challenge, the What Design Can Do Clean Energy Challenge in 5 metropoles on 5 continents, we launched a campaign specifically focusing on those creative communities in those 5 cities.
I am Sao Paulo. I host 20 festivals each month. You can eat in 12,500 restaurants or meet my 21 million people. Passionate, inspiring people who are hardworking and flexible. Which helps, because the traffic here, well, sucks. Too many cars and trucks, no efficient public transport, very few bike lanes. It's dangerous, it's polluting, and it has to change. How are we going to solve this? That is up to you. Smart, bold, game-changing ideas wanted. Join the What Design Can Do Clean Energy Challenge. Go to whatdesigncando.com and submit your ideas.
These design challenges are vital for our program that we develop with What Design Can Do. In the past few years, we focused on all kinds of topics, and we invited creative teams to come up with proposals on, for example, the refugee crisis, climate change, exploitation of children, clean energy, and waste. And in the future, many more issues to come, of course. And that resonates very well, because in the past 3 years, we received thousands of creative proposals from designers and creative teams from around the globe. So how do we do this? Well, first of all, we do research, because we don't want to be naive. And when you talk about refugees, it's very important that you know what you're talking about. So we do research. We visualize this research and we share that with the creative communities that we work with. We also give the winners money so that they can transform their ideas. And last but not least, we also offer them a so-called development program. And with this development program, people can transform their ideas into prototypes, business plans, and ready-to-market products and services. And the results are thrilling. For example, what you see here is Beehive. Beehive is one of the winners of the Clean Energy Challenge, and it's a new alternative to cool the city of Delhi. Or this one of the winners of the Climate Action Challenge, Power Plant, the world's first self-powering greenhouse, developed by Dutch designer Marianne van Abel. At this moment, by the way, she's getting a lot of funding, so I'm very happy to hear that, and she's winning awards around the globe. Isn't that amazing? The Refugee Challenge, Agri Shelter, is a project about fast housing around the city. It's developed by an Iranian designer working and living in the city of Milan. And she's now prototyping this project together with refugees. And last but not least, one of the winners of the Climate Action Challenge, the Children's Scrappy News, a kids show run by kids for kids. And what I like so much about this one is that it is really about our next generation.
Global warming, plastic in the ocean, poop on the zoo. No problem, send us whatever you've got. We'll solve it with deep research. Hello, this is the weather report from the Children's Scrappy News Service, live from India.
Where we have all types of weather all at the same time.
It's a mess. Everything is ulta-pulta. Plastic in the ocean.
Garbage.
Poop on the street, poop, poop, poop everywhere. That's why we started the Children's Scrap Reduce service. We solve all your problems, big or small. You send us a problem to solve. Eve, she, while getting our newsroom.
Our reporters are everywhere.
We find heroes.
We find answers.
We start scrappy movements to change everything. Scrappy does not like that one can do.
We are TV.
We are online. We are an app called Scrap. Download our app.
We are Scrappy.
We are a global kids revolution made in India for the world. When no weather report
Will never be the
same again. And that's a promise. Be scrappy.
Can you resist it? Because I cannot resist this video. I'm happy to hear this. All these projects from the challenges move forward. And of course, I'm happy to see this because they all focus on the engaging impact and power of design and creativity. To be part of this movement makes me feel proud and humble. 10 years ago, there was a guy from Greece who showed me the way and told me what my passion and mission is. I am indeed a privileged man. Thank you.